like literally 10 seconds ago. Hopefully all the overlays are working. I'm gonna go ahead and check that. In between games 1 and 2, of course, this is game 1. So both teams are even as of this point in time. And by the way, I am Aegis. I'm casting for the Collegiate StarLeague. You can also check out my channel at youtube.com/Aegis StarCraft 2. Also follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Aegis StarCraft. The command center is now converting over to an orbital command. Second gateway is on the way. It looks like he started his second gateway perhaps a tad earlier than his cybernetics core. Yes, he did. So he did definitely got his second gateway sooner. This is going to allow him to put on some pretty early pressure here. Perhaps go for 3 to 4 stalkers and put up some pressure up at the front. Looks like Siren is actually going for 2 racks. So he does have the capability to make those Marauders. Also the concussive shell coming up. So actually calling it 2 stalker pressure. Looks like it's not going to work. But Warp Gate research is on the way. Those stalkers will be able to pull back. Calc also saying that it looks like it. Concussive shells is on the way, so it will take an additional 30 seconds to make, but the stalkers will take probably approximately 30 seconds to walk across the map, and those Marauders will be able to do tons of work against those stalkers, especially as the second Marauder is spawning out. Only 30 seconds to actually create a Marauder. Second Azella is popping out over here as well. Yeah, the spectators actually pointing out that Siren has not actually scouted too much. The stalker is going to be coming by over here, and it looks like here comes the scout. We've got 2 Marauders and 2 SCVs for the scout. Also, additional units going to be advancing across the field. Looks like the probe will be forced out of here. No sentry actually out in the field right now. Sentry is popping out right now, but this is going to be able to do quite a bit of damage. There's 2 SCVs, 2 Marauders plus 2 Marines, and those Marines are going to be those DPS dealers, another SCV. So it's going to be the 3-3-3 push. 3 SCVs, 3 Marauders, and 3 Marines, additional ones, advancing across the field right now. It looks like Kinematics actually going for a Nexus pretty fast over here, and this is actually a mistake to be moving out here right now. The Zealots are going to be able to advance over here against a few units, but getting into this position is not good for our Protoss player. All of his units are going to be slowed. His Sentry is going to get taken out, and Zinger XPN, not sure what's going on, canceled, says the Nexus. Looks like he will be able to advance up here, and Warp Gate tech is now complete, and will be able to warp in a couple of units. The probes are going to get pulled off the line here, and the warp in will be coming up real soon. A couple of Zealots going to be warped in. It looks like the SCV is going to battle against the probes. The Marines and the Marauders will be able to do a ton of work against those Marines and SCVs, and in the meantime, what am I talking about? Against those probes and Zealots. And in the meantime, we do have a command center now halfway complete. So by no means is this an all-in. That was a lot of damage. And it looks like, especially when you chrono boost one gate and another. And looks like, yeah, so the simple answer to this build is to switch to Terran. Terran is OP. Yes, that is correct. And Kinematics now has a little bit of a defense. He's going to be throwing up his 3rd gateway, chrono boosting out an Immortal. Actually, Immortals are still paperweights, no matter how you look at it. He may be able to try and bust this, but Immortals are really, really expensive, and if you're not going to do anything with it for a certain amount of time, it's just sort of a waste. And it looks like a sentry drop is the suggestion from ISIS. I believe ISIS is on the UMBC team. Looks like the mules are now falling from the sky at the natural expansion. Starport also coming up for Siren. Also, the reactor will be able to get those medevacs up. I'm saying all of the wrong things today. Second Immortal popping out. Looks like Kinematics is going to be going for a pretty hard push right now. There are 4 gateways up as well as Immortals popping out, so he is going to be going for this bust. There is a Marauder advancing across the field right now, and we'll see if he's able to do enough damage to actually do anything here. And 3-gate Robo all in, and Siren should hold. It's actually 4-gate. So we're going to be looking for some hero force fields. against those bunkers, and we'll see if he's able to do some damage here. And additional immortals will be advancing across the field here, and those immortals do have 6 range, but they don't do extra damage as of this point. And it's not too large of a Protoss army, so we'll see if he's able to handle this. Looks like the Marauders will be advancing over here, and the bunkers are going to be, again, doing some work here. The first bunker does quickly fall. The SCVs getting pulled off the line here. More force fields going down, and Siren advancing with all of his SCVs against this Immortal Sentry Force. More units being warped in right now, but it looks like Siren will have a pretty easy time actually holding this off. It's just a couple of Marauders against those Immortals, and it looks like the Immortals will lose to those Stim Marauders, the last Immortal and the last Stalker over here. Medivacs also out on the field, and the bunker is still up, so he can immediately reload that. More mules falling here. He did lose a lot of SCVs, but kinematics, not too many workers of his own. Terran does have mules, and more SCVs transferring over to the natural expansion. People saying that Immortals are awesome, but he did pull a lot of SCVs. He did hold that off very convincingly. Looks like an observer will be scouting in here to see exactly what's going on, but now that Medivacs are out, Kinematics is going to be forced to make some unit that's actually able to do splash damage, and it looks like he's actually trying to expand. And yeah, of course, with those 2 command centers worth of mules, it's going to be able to do plenty of work here. It looks like the Marauders are able to clean up that pylon. There's still 1 additional pylon over here that he can eventually move out and take out. We have a Ghost now on the way, and Calc saying, is it even worth it? No, it's not actually, but he can still make a comeback if Siren makes some sort of mistake in this upcoming battle, such as throwing down EMPs in the wrong spots. So we'll see if anything like that happens, but ghosts are popping out, and he will be able to advance to do some damage shortly. And it looks like grabbing the second gas at the natural expansion as well. Nexus is about halfway complete. 2 Immortals, 4 Sentries, and 2 Zealots is the entire army. And it looks like just watching the game and kinematics continuing to macro a little bit. He's actually pretty broke here. Robotics Bay on the way. That's definitely something that he needs to do in order to continue this game, especially against ghosts. It is better to have Colossus than to have Templar. And here comes across the field the Terran Ball. We are at 93 food for Siren and 57 food for kinematics. And it looks like, do you talk about me like this when I'm playing too? Looks like a scan going down, and we'll be checking for some units in that location. More units being warped in here. Kinematics actually getting up a somewhat sizable army, but against all of these Medivacs plus Stimpack, I don't know exactly how much he's going to be able to do. Stimpack's going down. Looks like the force field will prevent the Terran army from actually get moving in here too quickly, but EMPs have gone down. All the Stalkers and units have no shields left. More units are advancing in here. It's just 1 Immortal left. It looks like it's trying to back up. And GG out of kinematics. UMBC takes game 1 to advance to an early lead at 1-0 against Johns Hopkins University, or John Hopkins University. I always say it wrong. And it looks like we will be headed to game 2. Siren telling the UMBC team it's easy peasy. Game 2 is going to be on MLG Shakuras Plateau, which is actually one of my favorite maps. We will see what other what player each team is going to be sending out in just a moment. Looks like the UMBC team has been practicing a lot, and the overlays are working beautiful. And hello to the chat. Hopefully it's not too laggy. Let me know if any super lag occurs. And it looks, I won't reveal too much of what the UMBC team is trying to say. Occasionally they can be very BM. amongst themselves and everything as well. So we're going to be waiting for an invite to Game 2, which is, of course, on MLG Shakura's Plateau. Before I say it wrong again, this is the Collegiate StarLeague, cstarleague.com, sponsored by Twitch.tv and TT Esports. Going to be loading into Game 2. Alright, so it looks like it's going to be Zinger XPN playing for UMBC. See, the reason why I can tell you this is because I was on the UMBC team. I'm somewhat familiar with who is playing for UMBC, so I can sort of guess who's playing. And then that eliminates it so that we know exactly who is playing for Johns Hopkins University. I'm going to be saying that wrong for the remainder of this thing. And it's going to be, is it going to be Zeri? Zeri did play last year, I believe, for UMBC, Johns Hopkins. John Hopkins. And it looks like we're going to be seeing Zinger XPN versus Zeri, who is a Protoss player. UMBC versus JHU. Game 2. Calc cheering his team on Zeri with a very spammy looking chat over there. Good luck, good luck, good luck. Have fun, have fun, have fun. Good game, good game, good game. Yes, coming from both players, and it looks like the countdown has begun. Zeri versus Zinger XPN. This is Game 2 of the Collegiate StarLeague Week 2. What is this? Echo Division JHU versus UMBC. MLG Shakura's Plateau is our next map. And Pro Circuit symbol coming up over here. Zerg versus Protoss. Have I given all the facts yet? I think both players are mid-high masters players. And of course, I am Aegis. Check my YouTube channel at youtube.com/AegisStarcraft2. Also, follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/AegisStarcraft. And here we do have Zinger XPN, our yellow Zerg player, spawning for UMBC in the top left-hand corner, and on the other side we have Zeri, the pink Protoss player, playing for JHU on the other side of the top, the right side, of course. Did I say left for Zinger? Whatever, you can make fun of me for not knowing left and right. It happens sometimes. Are you a doctor? Then why you at JHU? Oh man. And it looks like we've got our two players just doing some early game. I was gonna ask for discounts. I don't know if doctors can do that if they're working for a hospital. Might be slightly unethical. Looks like take that as a yes. Oh, actually, Root HMP. Oh, he used to be a manager for Root. Unfortunately, the Root disbanded and had to turn into a bunch of different teams. I'm still a fan of Kiwi Kaki. We do have the drone scooting out here. We'll be going for some scoutings. Pool is on the way, so Zinger XPN getting the pool first. We'll be headed for a pretty quick expansion here shortly, and our Protoss player, actually playing extremely safe, is not going to be going for the Forge, actually Pylon, Forge, Gateway expansion here, or I mean Cannon expansion here, very quickly in the game. Of course, it is weak to plays such as 8 pool, 6 pool, anything under a 10 pool. If I was a doctor, I'd give you free treatment. The Singer XPN, are you a girl? Remember in the Brood War days, there are so many fake girls on Brood War, and probably says Zeri. Actually, I know for a fact that he's not. Oh, Dan. Calc. Oh, WTF. And it looks like, a what? Evo Chamber coming up. This is really awkward. Jeez, it is going to be an Evo chamber coming up, and of course, when that dies, a bunch of wannabe Zerglings are going to be popping out. He told me that he was going to do this. Looks like Siren, the captain of the UMBC team, is plenty